Okay, Sonja, is everything set up? Are we a go?
We are a go.
Okay, wonderful. Let's see. Nicole, I'm gonna you're muted. Okay, perfect. Good evening, everybody. My name is Deborah Zelig, and I'm one of the voice instructors with the Wellesley College Music Department. I am just delighted to welcome all of you to our Guest Artist Vocal Masterclass with Soprano Nicole Cabell. I'm going to embarrass her just a little bit here at the beginning before we get started. She is universally acclaimed for her gorgeous instrument and her nuanced interpretations. American lyric soprano Nicole Cabell has demonstrated great versatility in repertoire ranging from the Baroque to the contemporary. She has sung on operatic, concert, and recital stages all over the world, some of the greatest, including the Royal Opera House Covent Garden, the Metropolitan Opera, the Lyric Opera of Chicago, San Francisco Opera, and I could go on and on. Her discography includes her solo debut album with Decca, which is called Soprano, and a song album of works by Ricky Ian Gordon called Silver Rain. She's also recorded the role of Musetta in La Bohème with Anna Netrebko and Rolando Villazón, and also La Bohème, the film. And in addition to her wonderful performance career, she is also currently assistant professor of voice at the Eastman School of Music. Professor Cabell, thank you so much for generously joining us this evening. We can't wait to learn from your expertise. And of course, Sonja Tengblad and I are just thrilled to share with you some of our wonderful students from the Music 299 program. Before we begin, just a reminder, everybody please stay muted if you're not singing. And we won't be using the chat, but if you want to use your virtual clapping hands and your big smiles to support your fellow singers, of course, that is welcome. All right, so I am now going to turn this over to Professor Cabell and our first singer for this evening, who is Ellie Murphy-Wiese. But Professor Cabell, if you don't want to say anything, please feel free.
Just a quick hello to everybody. It's so nice to see everybody's smiling face. Deborah and I were just saying that this year has been such a unique year. I'll use that positive word, in that I've met so many amazing singers, more than I would have met in any other year. So this is a great pleasure to hear you all today. And Deborah may not have mentioned that we worked together years ago at Santa Fe Opera. So we've known each other quite a long time, maybe almost as long as some of you have been alive. So it's a real pleasure seeing Deborah again. And yeah, so not to waste any time, let's get going. I think our first singer, yeah, it's Ellie Murphy-Wiese. Yeah, or Weiss.
Hello, my name is Ellie Murphy-Wiese. Weird pronunciation, I know. And today I will be singing Music for a While by Henry Purcell. Music. For a while, shall all your cares be gone?
Really, really quite beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that with all of us tonight. Um, Great. So, just a few things that I think will take what you already did so beautifully and just create a slightly more exaggerated version of that. So, when you're singing this music, first of all, you want to just spend a minute and just tell us what's going on here in this part of the opera?
Yeah, of course. So this is incidental music that Henry Purcell wrote to accompany Oedipus, the opera play. And it's very interesting because this particular scene is when a couple priests and the seer Tiresias are trying to raise the dead king from the dead. And so it's very ghostly. I imagine kind of like a dark, dank cave kind of situation. And then they encounter Alecto, who is a fury of the underworld, who deals with like mortal punishment and all these creepy things. And kind of at the climax of the piece, at least in the way that I interpret it, the music that I'm singing is calming Alecto. And so the snakes are like leaving, like she has snakes for hair and she has blood dripping out of her eyes, and the snakes are falling out of her hair and she's becoming kind of calmed.
Very cool. It's a great piece for Halloween, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you think about the piece, you think, "Oh, this is a beautiful sort of, you know, uh, almost calming piece for the listener." And then you get to this section where you're talking about snakes dropping, and you think, "Okay, this is not what I thought it was." So, yeah. So, are you comfortable if I give you a pitch or something for you to just sing some sections of this a cappella?
Yeah, sure.
I'm sure you've been doing that all year. Um, so yeah, so basically what I was saying in the beginning is take that idea, which is you so beautifully articulated, and then create more of a shape with that, right? So you have at the beginning this music for a while, and this repeats at the end. So I want you to just take a second and think about how you might want to make that different. What is your character? How does your character feel at the end versus how your character feels at the beginning? Are you preparing for this when you come in? Music. And I'd like you to think that when we come in. Let me just get my little keyboard out here on my iPad. Let's see. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it. Can you hear that pitch? It's pretty loud, isn't it? All right. I can just turn it up a hair. There we go. That might be better. So I'm just going to have you start it. And I want you to start. That's better. Okay. So when you come in, music, almost like a little slight crescendo. That's growing a little bit louder. And then same thing here. You're just starting maybe mezzo piano. Music for a while. You go to while. All right. So just that little bitty shape at the beginning. And then this is all we're going to do. Shall all your cares beguile. And the next section we'll do, I'll explain to you how we'll crescendo that. But the idea is just creating shape. All right. So let's try it. Here's your pitch. Okay. Yeah, good. The sound is not accepting your beautiful voices.
I actually think, Nicole, you might have to mute yourself while she's singing.
Thank you. Okay, great.
So.
Thank you. A year and a half, I still haven't figured out Zoom. So good, thank you. That was beautiful. Music for a while. You can use the ooh-ah of while for a while to try to find the climax of that phrase without just using volume, right? So can you do that again? I'll play the, and then I'll mute myself. Okay. That was gorgeous. It's still having trouble hearing you, but it's just muted, but I can still hear you. And did you enjoy that? It just kind of maybe amps up your relationship with the music and the text too, to just kind of exaggerate that a little bit more. And then shall all your cares be gone. I think that was fine. I don't think you need to sing that part. When you get to shall all all, shall all. My music that you sent me said crescendo through the whole phrase. So I want you to just treat that long crescendo through the whole thing almost like you're explaining it to a child, right? Because we never think we're doing and we think we're doing enough and we sometimes just aren't. So what I mean by that is so you start here, shall all, 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 shall all your cares beguile. You see, it's like almost exaggerated. All right. So I want you to try that because I think you have it in you, and I'll tell you if it's too much. All right. So we're going to start. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Gorgeous, gorgeous. You just made that music come alive. Very good. Feel good?
Yeah.
Okay, then you have, let's see, da 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 da. Wandering. That was all great. We're eased. So what do you picture here is going on? You know, do you think this electro creature is starting to
Yeah.
get a little bit scary? Calm down, calm down. So you see these decrescendos here. We're eased, go easy. We're gonna do that, but I want you to go on from there. So let me just tell you what I'm thinking here as you go on. Eased and disdained to be pleased. You say, sorry, and disdaining to be pleased. It goes to a really interesting harmonic structure here. And I think when it does that in the music, you can really play with that. Play with that with color in your tone. And it's going down to a lower part of your voice, you know, which you sing gorgeously. But what does that mean to your character, right? And disdaining to be pleased. If you were to pick like I like to just keep it simple and say like one emotion. One emotion.
Emotion for this. I guess kind of after the eased part when you're like calming Electo down, then it would be more kind of like and stay there. I don't know, like make sure that emotion like remains.
Yes, it's almost like a seduction, I would say. You know, oh, that's good. All right.
Yeah.
Staying to be pleased. Till elect. Oh, uh-oh. Starting to get a little creepy again. Okay, so you see we're creating all this wonderful shape and color. And I say, in the end, you just toss the ones you don't like and keep the ones you do. But let's play with that. Can you go back and take it from the first? It'll be easier for you to start here. Wandering. Okay, you want to start there on the D. Can you hear that?
Wandering, wandering, how your pains waste, east, and disdaining to be pleased.
Nice, very good. Listen to all those colors. And you can use the L of pleased. Disdaining to be pleased. You can always sing through a little bit of the voice consonants. Can you do that phrase one more time? I'll give you the pitch again. Okay.
And disdaining to be pleased.
That was great. So you see how you can use the consonants in the words or the vowels, like we did with where or when, to emphasize a word rather than using volume. And that really did bring it out. That was great. Okay, now you have da 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 da. Till electo free the dead, electo. I don't think you need to sing this again, but when you do, when you go back to the practice room, this next phrase, I mean, when you're repeating something again, I say pay attention to where the line goes. You know, why does the line go up here? Till electo free the dead, and then electo free the dead. Right? So you're obviously wanting to go somewhere in the next part of that phrase. Dead, dum 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 dum. I don't know. It seems like it's obviously not conclusive, right? So keep that. Thank you. 2 minutes. Okay. Keep that energy up, and then dead. You've now set that down. Okay. So the reason I don't want you to do this is because I want you to do the snake part, and we only have 2 minutes. The sneaky part, the Halloween part. Okay, so till the snakes drop, drop, drop. Explain to me what you like. If you were to picture yourself in the opera, right? Are you watching the snakes drop, or are you telling sort of the scene that this could happen, that the snakes could drop until they drop, 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 right? So is it more visual, or is it's like an idea?
I think for me, I'm thinking of it as an idea is interesting. For me, like so far, I've thought of it kind of as I'm watching it happen and I'm kind of getting excited that it's happening because it means that that whatever I'm doing is working to make her kind of less evil and more calm.
Cool. Cool. So if you were to say that, it's a little exercise I like to do, which is to just take it as a little kind of monologue section. And, you know, something like, till the snakes drop, 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 drop. If you say that as a monologue, I guarantee you it will start influencing the color of your singing without manipulating it. It'll be honest. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, something like
A lot of them.
so they all have to be cool, right? It can't just be drop, 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 drop. They all have to have different color. So can you do that embarrassing exercise for me? Can you just take a second and just till the snakes, picture yourself in the opera, or like you're doing a monologue in a little Shakespearean play, and just recite that little bit until you get to and the whip from her hands.
Okay. Okay. Till the snakes drop, 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 drop from her head, and the whip from out her hands.
I like that because you did something really cool when you got up to that, what would be the E? Drop! You had created energy to go up to that E. I don't know if you know where that is. That's, I think, your last drop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't have to remember that. Just go with that gut feeling of how you want to tell the story of that. Okay? Let's do that. So here's your pitch again. Okay?
Till the snakes drop, 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 drop from her head, and the whip.
Oh, sorry, I gave you the thumbs up. I'm like, oh, it's so great. Just go on, go on. But it was great. Yeah, fun, right? It's more fun to sing that when you're super into what you're saying. And a way to get into what you're saying is to do it first, just as a monologue style, because you don't have to carry the technique with it. You know, you can just be fully in the character first. And then you'll see it'll make it so much easier. But that was cool. That was really, did you like that little journey?
Yeah, definitely.
So we actually have to go, but I love all the work that you did. You were so quick, and I hope some of that can help. It's really just exaggerating all the things you already did so beautifully. And I commend you for singing so well along to, we say canned recordings. So good work over the year. Bravissima. Thank you, Ellie.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ellie. So Vidula is up next. Why don't you introduce yourself and your piece?
Hello, I'm Vidyla Khanderi. I'm a senior here, and today I'll be singing Chi nel fiore, which is the siren song from Francesca Caccini's Alcina, which is widely regarded as the first known opera written by a woman and the first Italian opera to be performed outside of Italy. So, should I go ahead or? Okay. Chi nel fior di giovinezza vuol gioir d'ogni dolcezza. Amor segua chi dileva ogni gioia, ogni dolore. Sin amore, sin amore, nel fior di giovinezza vuol gioir d'ogni dolcezza, vuol gioir d'ogni dolcezza. Chi desio di favoriso qual giocondo il viso renda gioco di quel fuoco che soave accendi un cuore. Sin amore, il desiderio di favoriso qual giocondo il viso, qual giocondo il viso. Chi nel corso di sua vita pace vuole sempre gradita, goda e taccia nel spazio traramando e gioia e lode. Sin amore, nel corso di sua vita pace vuole sempre vita, pace vuole sempre gradita.
Bravissima! What a great piece. I mean, I really hadn't heard it until I listened to it earlier for this class, and it's just fantastic. And I love this era of music where it's just sort of beginning on the cusp of something so completely different. But you do a great job with it, and I actually think your voice is really well suited to this repertoire. So, bravissima.
Thank you so much.
So tell me a little bit about how you feel about this piece. I mean, there's three verses. Do you have very distinct, it seems like you do, but do you have very distinct ideas of how you're going to display each difference in mood and difference in text between the three verses?
Yeah, Sonia and I have been working on kind of encapsulating each verse into a specific, I guess, stage in attracting the foolish men who come to the island and are beguiled by these sirens. And so I believe in the original opera, it's often sung by three different people or by three different personas. So we've painted the first one as the initial allure and attraction, kind of that pleasant to get them interested in you personality. The second verse, mocking, kind of funny, which in the context of the original history, this whole piece would have been funny, but it doesn't really translate that well. So we tried to bring more of that kind of funny, mocking personality into the second verse, and then the third with an air of warning that if you come here, you'll be gratified, but
Be careful. Well, that's kind of you to warn them. That's really great. Yeah, and I did feel that. And I think, similar to what we did on the last piece is just kind of bringing those out a little bit more because you clearly have very distinct ideas for that. And so starting your first one too, I think with this Baroque, or very early Baroque music, there are certain things stylistically I can suggest too that you can do. You can really lean into those penultimate syllables. Dolcezza, dolcezza, and really try to come off of that last one. So it will sound more stylistic if you do that. Ogni noia, yeah. Segua amore, same thing there. Giovinezza, right? But mainly at the ends of the phrases, especially. And I think about really think about a lean into that instead of any kind of accent. So you're just stretching a rubber band. Um, that's beautiful. And you can play with the words. I want you to think about a word like giovinezza. And if you say, what does that mean, first of all? Giovinezza.
I know that phrase is about the flower of youth.
Yeah, giovinezza. So how would you say, just go ahead and say giovinezza for me with the color of what that word means.
Giovinezza.
Yeah. And so you can sing it like that, right? You see how your face just, I mean, how you say a word, what the articulators, that's your mouth and your tongue and your cheeks and all this stuff do, that changes the color of the word. If I say giovinezza, 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 those are all different colors, and you're not really changing anything going on in here, all that healthy business. So, that's great. So let's just start this again. And again, are you okay with singing a cappella?
Yeah.
It's okay. Okay, great. So I'm going to give you your G. Great runs. I want to just before you start. Just go ahead and ride those and try not to, especially when you go up to the higher ones, make that the climax of the phrase. Just an extra thought if it comes across. Baroque pitch. Thank you. So it's lower. So would that be a semitone
Half
lower?
step.
It's a half step lower.
Thank you. Okay, there's your pitch.
Chi nel fior di giovinezza vuol gioire d'alma dolcezza.
Good. That was great. Dolcezza. Even that one. So everything you did was great. Just that last word. Can you take it from vuol gioire? I think that's where you breathe. Vuol gioire.
Vuol gioire d'alma dolcezza.
Very good. And so, yeah, when you're going to those doubles, this is for everybody where we're learning the doubles in Italian. You do a great job on not chewing them or spitting them out. That's my pet peeve. Dolcezza, right? A great job. I think one other thing I might suggest is when we're going to those blada, those little leans, stretch out the vowel before it just a hair. So it'll sound like dolcezza, dolcezza. So you still have the double, but you don't cut it off so soon. The vowel. You don't cut the vowel off so soon. Can you try it one more time for me?
Yeah,
And
from
eh,
Voljo it.
that's correct. So, oops, nope. Okay.
Voljo it d'alma dolcezza.
That's right. That's beautiful. And that's the style. Very good. And I love what you did for the giovinezza and both the dolcezza as well. Um, da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. When you say ogni dolore, how would you say that to them when you're trying to be seductive, right? Every pain. Ogni dolore. Ogni dolore. Can you say that for me?
Yeah. Ogni dolore.
Yeah, see that? Ooh, yeah. Sing it like that. So, can you take that? I don't know where you breathe. Why don't you just go on? So just go ahead and sing Amor segua que. Yeah.
Amor segua che legua ogni noia, ogni dolore. Should I continue?
That was beautiful. I feel like you're super connected with what you're singing. It's just like right here. I mean, it was all so good. It's just like right there now. So one touch more spicy. Good job. Good job. Fine. Let's go on to the second verse in the interest of time. Now, this is your funny verse, right?
Mm.
Okay. So, how would you make this funny? First of all, I would suggest finding the words. Find the words that make it funny, right? Riso, riso. That's when you smiled, and that was great. I'd do more. And foco, foco. Joy. It's feel that sparkly foco. You know? So can you let's see. Da, 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 da. Also, another thing you can do for that funny business, if that's where you're going with the character, is when you have this little run on accende. It's almost like a little laugh. I was gonna say when you have these melismas, you can treat those melismas like an emotional sort of exclamation, out feeling, laugh, something. You've totally got this down singing. So don't worry about technique anymore. Just treat it like it's a laugh, right? Take it from the beginning. So that's gonna be key. Yeah.
Chi desideri vago riso, far giocondo e lieto il viso.
Good.
Prenda.
Good. I'm going to stop you. It was gorgeous. I'm going to suggest two things. Before you begin the key in the very beginning of the phrase, have the color of riso. So, key. You're already like in the middle of it's really funny. It's really funny, but I can't. I'm holding back my laughter, right? So it's just that little, that'll also help raise your soft palate. Kind of fun side effect for that. So, and then the other one is lieto. Lieto il viso. Lieto il viso. Yeah. You're seductive but funny. Gotta be this sort of, flirtatious coquette type thing, right? Maybe that's what you want. Okay. So good. Try it again. Cute.
Chi di vago riso, far giocondo e lieto il viso, prenda gioco di quel fuoco che soavi accendi un cuore.
That was awesome. You really brought that to life. Bravissimo. So yeah, you don't have to do the rest of it. I just like to give you like a color idea for that phrase. Do the rest of it like that. It was great. And then just to talk about your last phrase. Oh, it's the warning. So she's a little bit of the Despina type. You know who Despina is?
Yeah.
Does he? Uh-huh. So she's clever, right? Is that what you want? Like the character to be kind of Hmm. So let's see. Let's find the parts that you can highlight. Yes, it's like the wisdom, right? He, in the course of his life, wants peace and joy. Da-da-da-da-da-da, do-do-do-do-do. Ah, okay. So tell me if you have one adjective for before you begin the phrase. And this subtext will help you find the color for the whole phrase. What would that be? Are you a little ashamed of those other two girls? Are you with them? No, it's my turn. What are you thinking? Like if you had to pick one adjective, what would that be?
Arrogance?
Oh, cool. All right. Huh. So, have that in mind. Chi nel corso di sua vita, huh? Attitude. Arrogance, attitude. Still seductive. Good. It's like the three ladies in Zauberflöte, isn't it? Okay. All right, good. Let's just start this, and it's a little more vague, this one. There's not as many
Mhm.
like clear moments,
Yeah.
except at the end, you have this. I'll let you sing because we were at 2 minutes, so I'll let you go to the end, and then mainly this last little bit here. Um, so think about your adjective, and then when you get to the end, treat this last little bit, bum ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. It's like you're kind of showing off a little bit.
Mhm.
You're showing off, and maybe, I don't know, touching his shoulder or kind of giving his curls a curl around you.
Mhm.
Something seductive and something a little bit pushy. But
Right.
give that meaning, okay? That little melisma at the end, okay? All right, so this is key.
Chi nel corso di sua vita pace vuol sempre gradita, goda e taccia ne rispaccia traramando i giorni e l'ore. Seguo amore, chi nel corso di sua vita pace vuol sempre gradita, pace vuol sempre gradita.
I really love the way you did that bit at the end. And I'd say, like, at the beginning, what you did was working. I go further.
Mhm.
Add for yourself when you're practicing, add a gesture in those rests. And this music would have had that, actually.
Mhm.
They say like the Mozart recitative, Handel recitative had the rest so that you could gesture to indicate what was coming next. So
Mhm.
think about that, Chi nel corso di sua vita pace vuol sempre gradita. God, whatever it is, but just
Mhm.
practice that in front of a mirror. And then when you're performing it, you can, of course, do less.
Right.
But I love that color at the end. It was fantastic and very confident, you know. The other sort of technical thing is just be careful on vita and
Mhm.
gradita, that you don't double that T. Yeah, you can tell that. So just really stretch out that penultimate vita, gradita. Yeah, yeah. So that's just going to be boring work you do in the practice room, but you're on your way. That was great. Thank you so much. It
Thank
was
you very much.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vidula. All right, beautiful job. Next, we have Neeraja. So if you want to go ahead and introduce your piece, we would love it.
Hello, my name is Neeraja and I will be singing Bhakti Bhakti from Mozart's Giovanni.
Neeraja, it's a little too soft.
Is
Can
it?
you speak up a bit?
Yes, I can. Oh my gosh, let me turn this off.
You can also she can change the input on her mic maybe too if she's on a
I
Mac.
increased it slightly. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you a little better, but maybe you want to stand in the middle of the room. If you're too far back, it might be hard.
Maybe I'll do that then. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, and you know what I'll do I'll speak up as rude as it may be if we can't hear you when you start singing, okay?
Sure, wait, why don't I I wonder, can you hear me now?
That's good.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah, we'll let you know if we can't.
Okay. My name is Neeraja Deshpande, and I will be singing Bhakti Bhakti from Mozart's Sonja.
That's all right, sweetie. It's great. You just find out where you were. We'll take it from there.
I have no idea what just happened.
It's always in the middle of something important, isn't it?
I love it. I'm so
Well,
sorry.
it's going beautifully, so don't worry. Just find your place.
While she's getting that set up, just so everyone knows, we're going to take a super quick bathroom break right after this.
Just so you know, everybody's having these problems this year because this is very weird that we have to do all this way. So if you want to, if you're having problems, we can also do sections a cappella.
No, it's fine.
Found it?
It should. I think it's just I need to connect. I don't know why it randomly disconnected, but
Because it's time for your masterclass, that's why.
you know what? I will just play this on the computer. How about
that? Okay.
I'm so sorry about this.
Don't worry about it.
There we go. Never mind. Do you want me to start from the beginning? Do you want me to start where I was?
You can start where you were. It was great. Why don't you do that so you can save your voice? Yay! I hope you didn't hear me. I forgot to mute myself, but I think it was clear. I think everybody heard you. That was great. Wonderful recovery. Yes. Like a pro. So really fantastic. You're very vocally consistent and you have wonderful technical foundation. So, when you get to that point, then it's time to play, and you do you do like a really excellent job playing, especially on the second half. The first half, I think I want to work on a little bit more because I think for all of this repertoire, even song repertoire, you want it to seem spontaneous. So you have a good sense of where your gestures may come or what's going on the stage around you, but it can feel more natural. And it's really about using the spaces before and after you sing, to have the thoughts, and to have them seem really spontaneous. Now, of course, this piece can be problematic. Let's assume, in the best of all possible intentions, because she says, lo vedo. Oh, I see. Non hai cuore. You don't have the heart. She's very manipulative, and she obviously knows that her fiance or husband is not going to clock her. She knows this, and so it's this sort of histrionics, over the top. Well, whip out my hair. Okay, well, plug out my eyes, something. uh, you know so we really want those moments to pop. So before you begin, do you know what happens in the recit?
Yeah, I do. So she's like, you don't believe me? Like, how dare you not? Like you, yeah.
Mi lo credi? Ingrato.
Exactly, yeah, that's the word, right? It's and
Yeah, right. Yeah, so you're egging him on, and he's just like, right, he's ignoring.
just ignoring her.
Exactly. So you do this thing. You can beat me up, but then we'll make peace. And then batti batti. So you and ma poi fa pace. We will make peace. Batti batti, oh bel. Come on, just do something. You're not crazy yet. You're not. You're still in the zone that you left off, in my humble opinion. And let's just go with that idea for now. So when you start batti batti, oh bel, ma sei tu la tua povera ser, make sure that serlina sounds like ts. Ser. Sometimes it's zer.
Oh,
There. I know you know it. Just bring that out more. Very good. So we're gonna take it just. Can you? I'm gonna ask you to do something. If you can just sing ma poi fa pace. Can you just sing that?
yeah.
Beautiful. What a gorgeous voice. All right. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna do that, and then you're not gonna waste too much of your energy. You're not gonna drop your energy. Just take the time and then go into it. And we'll go as far as botte ad aspettar, right? Before the first rest. Okay, so that is. I'll give it to you one more time. Ma, ma. Good. So imagine your conductor is going. You're singing ma poi fa pace, and in cheer he goes. Batti, right? So you have to anticipate that time and yet keep your energy up, okay? already your voice seems buoyant, right? Because of that energy. That was great. A couple tiny things. Remember the TS on Serlina. When you say staro, it's closer to a A-O combination. This is a really fine, nuanced Italian. It's not staro, it's staro qui. You can practice that on your own time, but just know that. Aspettar. If you could sing those double T's, I'd be very happy. I'll have you do that. And then we're going to go on because here's where I want you to then be picturing what he's doing. I'm sure you've thought about what he might be doing. Huh. Giving you a stare. I want you to react differently in a realistic way for these rests. So what can you take it from? Starò qui con mia agnellina le tue botte ad aspettar. Batti, batti, la tua zerlina. Okay? And we're going to go on, so just listen to this next set of hopeful instructions. You have starò qui, le tue botte ad aspettar. An idea of a crescendo, so that you can keep stringing him along and aspettar. You know, keep that energy in it. So can we do starò qui? Okay.
Sorry, which section?
Good, good.
I lost her.
Yeah, that was good. So I want you to picture, it's going to be tricky, this piece, without doing it with the music. If you can swing it, just time it in your head.
Yeah.
So, aspettar, good low voice too, by the way. Aspettar. And then you're batti batti, la tua zerlina. Okay? So, le tue botte ad aspettar. Can you take it from there? Yeah, let something happen there in that rest.
Right.
Aspettar. Come on, batti batti. Oh, la tua zerlina. This is where you get manipulative. La tua zerlina. Starò qui, le tue botte ad aspettar. Start your crescendo. It's a lot of information, but just get a percentage of that. I'll be happy. So, le tue botte ad aspettar. That was cool. That had more shape to it. Yeah. So keep playing with like really letting those like rests in there. Try not to just fill it up with a gesture. Right? Let it be like an emotion, and the emotion will then influence whatever gesture you're going to do. Okay? There's better here, aspettar. Then you have this long break. Lasciare straziarmi il crine. I know you did this like come on, what's going on? Keep that energy up, like really the subtext the whole time. And it doesn't have to be a physical gesture. It could be looking. Lasciare come on. No, he turned the other way. Lasciare cavarmi gli occhi. Thank you, 2 minutes. And then here you got the same business. Scelega le tue mani nell'età poi saprò baciar, shh, baciar, saprò baciar. That's a lot of information. Let's just see if you can kind of play with that a little bit. Do as much as you remember. It's like mainly to get those little breaks in, those little rests. So can you take it from starò qui, le tue... no, how about la tua zerlina? Starò qui, le tue botte ad aspettar. Look for a reaction. Okay, lascialo sotto. Nice, good job. Wow, it was beautiful. If you can make that whole thing in the breath, yeah, good. So that's the right idea. I think we are going to have to go actually. Oh, but it's really beautiful. I want you to continue, maybe just videotape yourself or get in front of a mirror and find like play with different facial expressions, for those rests, because that's what we're going to really believe you in your journey. We're going to believe that you're not just waiting to come in and sing. Okay, fine, tear out my hair. Okay, fine, poke out my eyes. That kind of thing. Just act it out first. But it's gorgeous. We do have to unfortunately go. I really love your voice. Great, great work.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so now we're just going to take a really quick 2-minute bathroom break. We have a lot to get through still, so let's just be quick and we'll come right back. All right, so if we are all back, I know I needed that. Let's have Katie introduce your piece.
Hi, my name is Katie Rabogliatti, and I will be singing Morto Miglione by Barbara Strozzi. Should I just go? Okay. Amor, non vorrei più. Su, svegliati ormai. Niente, dormi tu. essere amor da poco, strali strali, poco fuoco, strali strali, su, poco fuoco, su, non dormire più, svegliati su, non dormire più, amor, svegliati su. Mancava questo, quale io resto. Amor, non dormir più, su, svegliati ormai, e mentre dormi tu, strali, su, poco fuoco, su, non dormir più, svegliati su, non dormir più, amor, svegliati su.
Gorgeous. What a delightful song. Another new one that I had not heard. So thank you very much for singing that for us. Beautiful. So tell me a little bit about how you feel about the piece. What are some of the most dominant emotions or feelings that you are trying to convey, that you are conveying, and what your character might be thinking and doing in this scene?
So I'm very preoccupied with this love that I have, but is not being returned. And I'm kind of begging, I guess, Cupid to get on it and get the other person to reciprocate my feelings. And so I think there's a bit of yearning, but also a lot of urgency. And then despair at the fact that Cupid is not getting on his thing and the person is not returning my love. And that's, yeah.
Very good. Thank you. You're getting frustrated with Cupid. Why are you sleeping? Come on. Good job. So that color difference we can definitely bring out. And I'd like to suggest we do just a tiny bit of, I tend to not want to do a lot of technical work in master classes, but just one sort of idea that if you wouldn't mind playing with, that might be really fun. Because everything is very healthy, what you're doing. I do feel like the words get a little bit hidden, that we can get a little bit more generous with the words. And just this very first one, if you go ahead and just breathe through your nose and your mouth, and I want you to feel the open sensation you have when you're breathing in, like you're almost going to say, Katie, like, oh, really? I didn't know that, right? So go ahead. Yeah. And can you go ahead and watch how I, just for now, I sort of open my mouth more, and I might have a little lift. You don't have to do any of this business, but feeling like you have some space between your teeth and a little lift up here, as opposed to just, you understand? So the words can still be amor, amor, and they're still trapped. Amor, amor. You have a little bit more opening, a little bit more lift. Okay, so can you try that one more time? Breathe through your nose and your mouth, and just in a kind of happy, like, slight gasp. Yeah, and can you give me a happy version? Yeah, just that little bit of lift, right? So very good. Thank you for doing that. And so even when we take this first, is this also in Baroque pitch? Is this? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Ah, amor. I think that's the pitch. Yep. Amor. Can you just sing that first word for me with that lift?
Amor.
Uh-huh. Ah, a little happier. Happier is the wrong word. I'm just trying to sort of get an inner smile going on. Amor.
Amor.
Brava. That came alive right to us. So can you go on with that same sensation and Sue, this is a fun one because Sue wants to drag us down here. Sue. So try the exercise again on Sue. Sue. So we have the lift inside, but then you have a nice ooh out in front. That's going to be Sue.
Sue.
Mhm. Good. Thank you for going through all those Sue. I don't know what the pitch is.
All of it? Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, if you can, sure.
Sue, 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 Sue. That's not right.
Let me see. Nope. Yeah, here we go. There it is. Sue.
Sue, 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 Sue.
Sue. Like you're on top of it. Oh.
Sue, 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 Sue.
Yeah, that's opening up your voice. Try the whole phrase now. Amor.
Amor, amor, non dormir più. Su, 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 su.
Good. It's gorgeous. Great work. And then su. I just want you to add like up. Su. Get up. Help me, Cupid. Right? I love that. Does that feel good? Just that little extra.
Yeah, more open.
Good. So do it again, and we're just gonna go on. If you're okay singing a cappella. Su, up. Okay.
Amor, amor, non dormir più. Su, 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 su. Svegliati.
Technique is great. Now you can have more svegliati. You're saying wake up, right? Svegliati. More. Go ahead and let loose. Trust your voice. It's gorgeous. So wake up that Cupid for us. Okay. How about just su. Up.
Su, 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 su. Che mentre dormito non gioie mie non esser.
This is great. So alive. Dum da da da. Your voice sounds so beautiful. Where do you do this? Dum da da dum. Oh, I see. Okay. Let emotion drive that. You're really, really close. But I want you to now just, of course, keep that lift, but just let it be more connected to the emotion. Whenever y'all have melismas or cadenzas, please let them be an expression of emotion. Okay? It's sounding fabulous, Katie. So can you take it from That was good. So you looked at me and I was like, okay, good, we can stop. So noi guai. Keep the energy going through the end of that phrase. We don't, young singers often will go guai. We're going down, so we're dropping the energy down. Guai. Keep it up for us. Okay? Try it one more time because it's almost perfect. I hate that word. It's excellent. It could be more sparkly. Okay?
Sorry.
Good, good, good. So I want you to try it one more time because what it's very close, but what I see on my end is just a little bit of guai. What is the word?
Vediamo?
Vegliano i guai. Vegliano i guai. Guai. So continue to find space and think about it as if it's hard to think about the lift happening here, which it should feel internal, but it could also be useful for you to think about just saying the word more generously. Guai, guai. Think about opening the mouth, but not just that way. Guai, guai. Can you just say the? Yeah, there you go. Guai. Yeah. So find space. Breathe through your mouth, nose in your mouth. Guai.
Guai.
Bravo. Go a little further. Can you do it again? More.
Guai.
Yeah, so here's the thing I'm always dealing with my students. When we get the lift, that goes up with it. Why? And then when we let the jaw go, that drops. It's a really tricky thing to find space on both accounts. It takes a little practice, but you're doing fabulous. I want you to do that phrase one more time and just feel generous with the word. Go further out of your comfort zone. Okay? Ve. Open, yeah. And close, but you know what I mean. Open your mouth. I thought that was quite beautiful. So, you can talk with your teacher about if you want, ultimately, when you hear the Italians talk about vertical positioning, which is, of course, what we want, the internal structure is still open. So you might get conflicting information. You're so young. Guai, like so. And then we say, guai, which one do I do? Well, it's a perfect combination of the two of them. It's a little lift and also an unhinging of your jaw. Guai. That is, take the information if you want. I've just found that to be very useful for me. And that was beautiful. So I think we actually are out of time, but just that little bit I thought could be helpful for you. Just that feeling of openness. Did that feel good, or did that all make sense?
Yeah, I thought it felt really good. Yeah.
Yay, fabulous, Katie. Well,
Thank you so much.
again, I got the 2-minute warning. So yeah,
Yes,
we're done.
unfortunately.
All right.
But
Well, wonderful work, Katie. Thank you.
Much.
beautiful, Katie. All right, next we have Genevieve, if you would like to introduce your piece.
Hello, my name is Genevieve Welch, and today I'll be singing Viens mon bien-aimé by Cécile Chaminade.
Ils ont
Bravissima. What a gorgeous interpretation. Thank you so much. You look like you really enjoy singing that. Yeah.
This one.
Yeah, and you sound so beautiful. It's such a honest and unfussy, just pure and authentic interpretation. So I really appreciated that. So a couple questions for the piece, to just try to dig deeper. Do you have an idea for like a shape or a journey that you're on in this piece? Are you thinking about is this a personal experience that your character is trying to portray? Yeah, give me some thoughts on this piece for
Sure. I think overall it kind of goes up as it goes forward. It starts with it starts a bit more quiet and a bit more general with these ideas of like, oh, April is beautiful and the flowers and the birds, and more general. And then as it goes, I think she gets more almost excited and anticipatory, and it starts talking about these very more specific ideas related to her lover. And she's talking about, we'll be under, like, when the night casts her veils over us. And I think it starts to gain this momentum as it goes, as she really like hones in on this person that she's singing about.
Yeah, very cool. And let me throw out a possibility that this all could be a metaphor for your intimacy with this person that you're thinking about. Let the spring be the first touch, or the vision of his or her face, right? Just the gentle kind of awakening to the presence of or the touch of this person, because it's basically spring, summer, and you have this like, so that's the passionate moment, with them. And then the rest is the sky, right? So you are intoxicated.
Right.
This poetry is very sensual. You're intoxicated with this, and it's heady, and it's very up to you if you want to make it internal, meaningful, or completely relaxed, right? Because the other moment's over. So it's just, I think it's all a metaphor for your moment with your love. So with that in mind, I would encourage you to find a bigger, wider shape.
Okay.
Something that's a little bit clearer with the shape. When you see the pianissimo, really bring it down. And then you have, so you have soleil after this, and that's mezzo forte, crescendo. Crescendo, you do something so beautiful. Tu se te. I was hoping you were going to do that, and you did it. It was great. I will suggest that when you get with your pianist, and I think you can do that with this recorded accompaniment, you just hesitate a moment. So it'll sound like, isn't that great? Just that little anticipation. So do that with your I say the canned accompaniment. Write down. The rest of it's so beautiful. I know I'm giving you everything at once, but we'll work on it. The very end, just watch. It tends to go quite a little under supported, so it's just like this hair under pitch, and the rest of it's so gorgeous that you just want to be right on top of it. But really, really lovely. You want to start it again? I think you can actually do this with recording with that in mind, because it's a piece, and I gave you some ideas to play with.
Yes. Okay. Let's make sure we start at the beginning.
Okay.
Son amour me penetra
Good. That was even shapelier. That was very nice.
Wonderful.
And it'll be easier when you're with your accompanist in person because I thought what you did was really lovely, and they'll wait for you, of course.
Great.
Here, there was a couple interesting things that the accompaniment did that I kind of dug. I kind of liked those
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Quand sur nous la nuit. It took a little time there. I thought, okay, sure. But those kinds of moments you can, if it goes to like a slightly unexpected place, can always have a little hesitancy because you're expecting here to is so much more delicious.
Great.
That was gorgeous. One thing I would suggest, and we'll just do the very beginning again.
Mhm.
I think that, when you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, I would spend almost that whole time taking in a nice slow inhalation because you have le, that is a voiced consonant too. So you can start on a little vibration on the le. So that's where we are. So when you breathe dum, 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 you start the exhalation process just a hair before you start to sing. And then you're not holding your breath or taking a gasp. And
Right.
then you just
Right.
go ahead and vibrate on that le, le, just for a split second. Can you
Mhm.
try that for me
Mhm.
on that le? Good, good. Can you open that le, le? I'm hearing le, le. That's better. So we're
I hear what you mean.
yeah. That L will help you find your resonance.
Mm.
M and as well. So if you have a mo cut at any point, or if you're warming up or something and you need to find a resonance because some air is coming through, NG will also help with that. So can you start it again and just take a nice slow breath through the whole introduction, start your exhalation.
With the accompaniment.
Yeah, go ahead and do it
Okay.
with the comments. You can practice the timing.
Mm.
Listen to your voice too. Your voice is super resonant right now too. So,
Yeah, feel clearer.
yes, when you find, especially in the low part of the voice,
Mm.
it's really hard to find that when you're leaping down, especially. So anytime you have those voice ones, you can take advantage of that. Mon bien-aimé. I circled that for some reason. Why? Ah, yes. When you sing "Viens, mon bien-aimé," how many times do you say this? Goodness, maybe 4 times. Yeah,
Many.
that's the most seductive moment.
Right. Right.
Yeah, come here, come here. Viens, mon bien-aimé. Really, really, that's delicious. Taste that.
Mhm.
Can you can you just do it a cappella?
Mm.
I'll give you the phrase before you sing. Un frisson d'amour, if you need that ma. Occasionally you can, like I said, vibrate on those as long as you don't disrupt the
Mhm.
legato. So try un frisson d'amour.
Un frisson d'amour me pénètre, viens, mon bien-aimé.
Good, 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 good. I believe that.
Okay.
That's gorgeous. What do I want to say? I think yeah, let's just do the last one now and go ahead and take it from Quand sur nous la nuit and I really want that Viens mon bien-aimé to be the most delicious one.
Okay.
The last one.
Right.
Okay.
Quand se nous la nuit me s'évade, viens, mon bien-aimé.
Yeah, good, good, good. Don't press your breath at the end.
Okay.
You keep the breath flow the same. It's the toughest thing to do. Goodness gracious. Getting off of a phrase is really hard. 1 2 minutes, okay. Thank you. Really quick, I want to check some of your French. You can open up voile,
Okay.
voile. Je pense sur needs more ooh sur. Oh, sur nous la nuit, mais c'est voix. Look,
Mm-hmm.
enjoy that voix. Ah, you try it one more time.
Quand sur nous la nuit, mais c'est voile.
Yeah,
Oh,
good.
sorry.
Voix.
Cut myself off.
No, that was really good though.
Okay.
Voix was really good. The
Okay.
le we tend to drop, right? Voix. Keep that energy up. Try it one more time and then sing sur for me. So, quand sur.
Quand sur.
Yeah, it's just like, you want to make sure it's a real ooh with your lips and an e with your tongue.
Right.
See? Yeah. Yeah, try it again and do the whole phrase again and just enjoy it.
Okay.
Voila. Voila.
Quand sur nous la nuit, mais c'est voile. Bien, bien-aimé.
Bravissima. It's more fun to sing that way, isn't it?
Yes, for sure, for sure.
You feel every word. It's really fun to sing, but it's really hard to do that. It's like, where's my soft palate? Where's my tongue? Where's my, but
Too
you're
many
doing
moving
it.
parts.
Yeah, exactly. But it actually comes together too. When you sang the words the way they're meant to be sung, you had more breath support and you had better resonance on those notes. So there you go. It works for you in the end. Really lovely. I think we have to move on, but that was beautiful. Thank you, Genevieve.
Genevieve or anything works really.
I'm used to pronouncing with the French version. That was
Well,
beautiful.
when I'm singing this, I really should. So
Yes, yes, je m'appelle Geneviève.
thank you so much.
Beautiful, Genevieve. All right, last but not least, we have Maya. Why don't you introduce your piece?
Hi, my name is Maya Sequira, and I will be singing Poor Girl's Ruination by Ricky Ian Gordon with text by Langston Hughes. I went to Chicago at the age of 3. Chicago nearly ruined me. I went to Detroit at 21. But Chicago started, Detroit's done. If I'd grown up with a little money, I might not have been going, honey. Before you give a girl damnation, take what is in consideration. Bring me all of your dreams.
to rough fingers of the world.
Thank you. Oh gosh, isn't that the best music? Oh, love it. That was beautiful. So what's your relationship with this piece? When did you learn it, and do you have any sort of background in any kind of crossover? The reason I ask is because I work with Ricky, and he sometimes wants a little bit of this crossover style, sometimes not. I'm just curious if you have any history with that. You know what I mean by crossover?
Like I've
Like
done
musical
pieces
theater
with,
style, jazz, or any of that?
yeah, I haven't really done a lot in this style before. I learned it last semester, so this is like me bringing it back.
It's,
But it's really fun to do something that I haven't done before.
Well, and it's really just a color of it because he really likes a full, rich operatic sound. But there are moments in this piece, especially at the beginning, where you can play a little bit more with the slides and stuff. I mean, he writes them in. I went to Chicago at the age of, where he writes it in. I think you can really do that. So we'll talk about that. And my other question for you is, I mean, it's very different, this sort of poor girl's ruination and dreamkeeper just together. And do you think it's the same character? Do you think it's the character and then the narration about the character, the moral of the story is, or do you what is your take on that?
I've thought of it as the same character, just sort of like recontextualizing what she's feeling, like in the context of her own dreams and like thinking of the dreams that she once had.
Yeah.
And wanting to protect the ones of others as well.
Very cool. So maybe the second piece you could make a little bit more internal, and we change the color of how we sing when we do that. So it's not quite the same technique maybe, of course, but just a different way of approaching the singing, so that the sound might sound like we call it a color change in the singing. So we'll hopefully have time to get to that. But let's go to the beginning and talk about, I want you to try one thing too, just for me. Just go ahead and hum. Me, me. Humming on the M and then going right to the E vowel. Good. That's resonant. Can you try an NG? Yeah, so these are just, again, we use these vowels as just a simple way to find resonance in the voice. If you vibrate on the NG, I mean, sometimes the NG adds tension. If you feel like you're pulling up tension here, that's not going to work. But M or N, certainly. The NG helps loosen this area back here if you can loosen the base of the tongue. But the trick is like trying to vibrate on that NG sound, not pushing it and not holding it. Can you try it one more time for me? Just. How does that feel? I think it's just like sometimes there's some air coming through the sound. Does that feel like a little better when you do the M-E or the N-G to the E? Yeah, so you want, like, the idea is to have, and it's a lot of stuff that that we learn to get an efficient sound. But if the sound is really disperse, then you might run out of breath. And the sound is really quite lovely. I just think that you can use a little bit more resonance. So we'll get that through some of the text here in the beginning. Let's do...
And Maya, if you want to turn up your sound just a little bit, that would be great.
Turn up.
Turn up, yeah, that would be great.
So let's just try like the style first. So just say for me, I went. It's just like a siren almost.
I went.
Yeah, good. And as you go up, try to imagine that you're like getting space inside as you're going up. Because we tend to go, I went. Right? You have a little bit of space in there. Can you do that again?
I went.
There you go. That was resonant. So the notes here. Sorry, hold on. I went. It's just an exercise. Can you try that? Those are the actual notes.
I went.
And then I went to Chicago. It's still sirening.
I went to Chicago.
Yeah, good. So, yeah, you have a little tension there. I want you to really just think of a siren, just to get the style. And what I'm after is, I went to Chicago. It's really just speaking in, like, I call it fancy lady speak. Hello, how are you today? You know, can you try that for me? And the idea is you have space in here. Hello, a little bit of space in here. It's a little embarrassing. And if you're game for it, try it with me. We just repeat after me, okay? Hello.
Hello.
Very good. How are you today?
How are you today?
There you go, with that, girl. So, I went to Chicago at the age of 3.
I went to Chicago at the age of 3.
Good. And so we just find those on the pitches. I went to Chicago at the age of 3. I think those are the pitches. Whee! It's just this sort of easy, should feel good. Can you just, it's going to feel weird at first, but ultimately feel good. So can you try that for me? Just, I went to Chicago. Yeah, the whole phrase.
I went to Chicago at the age of 3.
Good. I think you're still like a little bit in what I call singing mode. You want to create that sound. I went to Chicago at the age of 3. This sound is like a little less opera-y. It's fancy where you place it, but it's like no, it's more slidey. Does that make sense? Can you hear the difference?
Yeah.
If I did, I went to Chicago. I went to Chicago at the age of 3. Yum, yum, yum. Can you try it again?
I went to Chicago at the age of 3.
Atta girl, that was fantastic. Same thing, Chicago. Woo! Just think about it as a siren. Don't think too hard about singing it. Okay, so.
Chicago nearly ruined me.
That's good. And when we do ruined, we want to go roo. We want to get kind of a little nasty with that sound. What pitch is that? Ruin me. Is that right? Okay. So just do this for me. Ruin me.
Ruin me.
That girl. And feel it. Ruin me.
Ruin me.
There you go. There's plenty of resonance in that too. Good job. So try the whole thing. Chicago nearly ruined me.
Chicago nearly ruined me.
Yeah, that sounds great. And it makes sense. Ruin me. I went to Detroit. You have a little... Is that right? I went to Detroit. I like to have you speak it in that siren-y place before you sing it. So can you do that again? I went to Detroit at...
I went to Detroit at
21.
21.
One.
One.
Yeah, exactly. We just do that to help find the resonance. So, want to try that?
I went to Detroit at 21.
Sounds great. And it's so much less fussy, right? And by fussy, I just mean we're trying so hard to sing sometimes. And if you just go to the siren, tell me it feels good. All right. So this next phrase, when Chicago started, Detroit's done. This is when we get a little bit musical theater. Okay? But we still need the space. So it's exactly what you were doing, but I want you to act out when Chicago started, what Chicago started, Detroit's done. Done. There's a little snarl in that done. Okay, so, oops, that's your page.
What Chicago started, Detroit's done.
That's great. I think you can go further. You're singing it beautiful, but what do you mean by that? What Chicago started, Detroit's done. Detroit finished me. So you have a sort of a nasty relationship with Detroit, right? Chicago started, Detroit's done. Whatever motion you pick, but go a little further. You're singing it great. Okay, so here's your pitch.
What Chicago started, Detroit's done.
Yeah, done. You can rest on the N too, so that's another musical theater thing, is going to a consonant early and singing on it. So what I mean by that is opera is done. Musical theater is done. Just going to that consonant a little early. Done. Can you try that?
Done.
Yeah. So and mean it like done. Finish me.
Done.
Yeah, good. Can you do the whole phrase? What Chicago? What?
What Chicago started, Detroit's done.
Yeah, good. I would say keep moving in that direction because that is more the style of this piece. Very good. And then you have this higher stuff. Okay, so got to negotiate it a little healthier. If I'd grown up with a little money, I might not have been ruined, honey. So I really want you to do that speechy thing that we did. And when you get up to the higher parts of the voice, we siren up high. If I'd grown up with a little money. I know it feels weird or sounds weird, but just try it for me. Okay? Can you try that phrase?
If I had grown up with a little money.
Atta girl. I might not have been ruined, honey.
I might not have been ruined, honey.
There you go. You're such a good sport. Okay, so then we do the same thing on the pitches.
If I'd grown up with a little money, I might not have been ruined, honey.
Yeah, that sounds so good. All right, beautiful. And since we're at time almost, can you just do the very end for me, this little vocalese? And I want it to be, you know, like we were saying all of this class, let the melismas be an emotional thing. When you have these you know, on those F E or F sharp E's, they're like cries almost. And then this like random the rests are just as important, right? And then this little bit at the end, it's just emotion. And can we try that? Okay, so that's gonna be. Can you do it a cappella? And we're singing. good. Try that less. I want that to feel like a twist in something painful. Try that just that little bit at the end. Da, 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 da. Yeah. So listen, you have the goods. I would find a mirror and go like, do it in front of the mirror or record yourself because it's not too much. You really can. I feel like such a ham, and I used to be really like protective of myself and like nervous I was going to be too much, and I probably am. But going that far is going to be that important for your audience. And again, you got the goods. So I would take yourself to the extreme. Your teacher will say if it's too much, and then you'll be able to communicate clearer to us. But I thought your voice really relaxed a little bit with some of the siren work. So I would suggest leaning into those exercises if you and your teacher are comfortable with that, because it's a gorgeous natural instrument. That's all I have to say. Beautiful. Gorgeous.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Nicole. We wanted to leave a few minutes to give the students an opportunity to ask you a question or two. And this really could be for the singers who participated tonight and also for any of the singers who are just listening. So if you have a question, either raise your hand or just unmute yourself and ask it.
They can put it in the chat too, right?
Sure. Or I'll ask a question.
I can ask one.
Okay, great.
So I was wondering, what are your recommendations for practicing, especially practicing during the pandemic, where it's like just nothing is normal,
Well, I suppose it depends on where you're able to sing. I know that some people are in the dorms and they're not able to sing without getting a knock on the wall. So in those cases, weirdly enough, doing like the humming and singing down the octave to learn all of your music is kind of your only option. If you can get rooms and just go in there and sing masked. We've been masked all year at Eastman. And I don't know if you guys have sung with the little medical masks. Has anybody sung with those on your face? Yeah, you'll get used to it. But I would find a space that lets you do that and just go ahead and get used to singing with the mask. And you can sort of like hold it away from your mouth if you breathe in, the mask kind of goes into the mouth. But now's a good time. Things are going to open up, I think, soon. But now's a good time to do a lot of study with your poetry and listening to recordings and just kind of doing a lot of reading on composers and works. I had some of my students actually learn operatic roles, just kind of learn it down the octave so that they knew the notes and the melodies. And that's just something that will put you ahead of the game until things are able to open up. And I think when it comes to singing in your dorm room, look, we're all in this together, and your neighbors have to know that even if you arrange something with them, like an hour of practicing a day, you all decide on a time that works. I would slip notes under their door with like my contact information, what I wanted to give out in case they had an issue. So then nobody, from that moment on, nobody ever complained. It was something psychological. Okay, well, they're a nice person, so I guess I'll let them sing. So, listen, you'll all be running into this problem your whole life when you're off of a plane and you have to go to a hotel. And I just quarantined for 10 days in a hotel in Los Angeles, and I just hummed everything. But if I wanted to sing, that's what I would have done. I would have just slipped something under my neighbor's door. I'm an opera singer and I'm going to be singing. Let me know if there's an hour that you need to sleep, or, so that you don't disturb them. And but that's my advice. And hopefully, you won't have to follow it for very long. Anybody want to put something anonymous in the chat?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm curious just about some of your favorite things to sing, like favorite composers, favorite roles, just in your own experience.
Yeah, well, I love Ricky, of course. I was talking actually in a seminar earlier today about Ricky, and how his music is just written so beautifully for the voice. He just knows the voice. Typically does not write a lot of words really high or, require things that are really that would compromise the message of the music. And so I really, really love Ricky Ian Gordon, his music. I tend to love Spanish music. There's a favorite of mine is Ferrando Obradors. Beautiful. It's actually Catalan, but I love Spanish music and any kind of music of that region, and French music. I've always been a big Fauré lover. I love his music, and another composer I've been discovering is Florence Price. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but she's amazing, amazing. And I've just started learning music by William Grant Still, which is also an incredible, there's really incredible music in that range. But yeah, so I tend to like stuff that is more direct and folk related. I tend to not be as responsive to atonal 12 tone, really modernist music. That's just my own personal thing. But to each their own. I came from, like I said, a jazz and musical theater background a little bit. So that's where my inclination is. But yeah. Unfortunately, we don't always get the choice. Sometimes we have to sing Donizetti.
I'll throw in another question. Nicole, what inspires you to be in the arts and to be an artist in music specifically?
Yeah, that's a great question because everybody has got their own reason. And I think it's probably evolved over time. I think when I was your age, I was really inspired by doing something really interesting and different. And my voice had this operatic color and potential. So I ended up pursuing that, knowing nothing about opera and really learning it from scratch. Listening to the, Puccini for the first time at 15 years old. I didn't know anything about it. So that was my initial inspiration. And as I got older, it was, of course, the music itself and performing this incredible music and meeting amazing people and traveling to, exotic, fantastic places in the world. And just being able to do something that is actually beautiful and meaningful in this world, because as you know, it's difficult sometimes. Life in the world as a whole can be difficult and there could be a lot of negativity. So being able and being lucky enough and privileged enough to be able to contribute something beautiful to the world is really a gift. And I don't take it for granted. And I'm very grateful to be able to do that. And I think it's a balm in times that are difficult. Everybody turns to art and to music in those times. So it's indirect philanthropy, I suppose. but I think that's what motivates me now. I wonder what it'll be in 10 years, but that's what I feel now. Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, I think that's a great place to leave, especially since we're at time too. But thank you for keeping us all motivated with the artistry of music. It's certainly kept me going this year too. But yes, we wanted to thank you, Professor Cabell, and many thanks to the Wellesley College Music Department, our department chair, Jenny Johnson, our head of lesson program, Eliko Akohori, music department coordinator, Magdalene Christian, and our concert manager, Isabel Fine, for making this evening possible. And we also wanted to thank our fabulous faculty, collaborative pianists, David Collin and Erica Johnson. And next Saturday, we're going to live stream again our spring voice combined recital at 3 p.m. So I'm sure you can get the link from any of our participants, and we will also be sending it out. So thank you again so much, Nicole Cabell, and to all of our participants tonight. And
beautiful work. All of the singers, Sonja and I are very proud of you for being so brave to sing over Zoom like this. It truly was impressive. And I'll just add one more. Thank you so much, Nicole, for being here. It was just a wonderful learning experience for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Beautiful.